All right, today we're talking about setting market rent, increasing rent fairly, equitably, being consistent, okay? You need to have a rent increase procedure in place. So for 3 reasons. 1, you're gonna increase or at least maintain the ROI on your rental property. Number 2, you're gonna ensure that you keep up with market rent so that you have adequate funds available to keep up on maintenance. This is gonna keep the cycle going. And 3, it's gonna probably, in my opinion, one of the most important that's overlooked a lot is number 3 is prevent unintentional or intentional favoritism or retaliation versus tenants. Okay, you can't increase the rent on somebody because you don't like them and not increase the rent on somebody else because you like them better. Not fair. Okay, so this is our system and this is how I recommend you go about this, or some variation of this. So first of all, you want to have a rent schedule, which means you evaluate market rent at the same time every year, month, quarter, however you're going to do it, and then that's when you set your market rent for the next lease cycle. Okay, and then to do that, I have a whole article on how to set market rent, finding rental comparables, adjusting for variables, etc. I don't want to go into it. It's pretty basic. You're going to look up, other units in your market that are similar to yours, adjust for the variables, the differences and similarities between those properties, and set your market rent. Okay, and then you're going to implement your rent increases. And if you want to go over market rent, you're going to want to justify that through some upgrades, which I have some other videos on some of that as well. Okay, so then implementing your rent increases, you want to have a scheduled time of when you're going to do that. We like to do ours once a year. Okay, so you don't want to increase rent more than once a year. It's not a good look. Typically, residents don't like it. So, and then you want to have a standard as to how much notice you're going to give. We always give 60 days notice just to be compliant with, the most stringent laws on the issue, and it's really just a helpful way to do it. So 60 days written notice, and provide that notice to your tenants, and then renew their lease and increase the rent. And again, I have this note here. If it's not documented, it didn't happen. Okay, so you absolutely want to document your rent increase reviews, or your market rent reviews, and your increase process, so that if someone accuses you of unfairly, singling them out, you'd be like, no, absolutely not. I did a rent increase analysis across my entire portfolio, however many units you have. This is what I set in January. It's now August, so there's no way you can imply that I targeted you out when I set this up 7 months ago. Okay, so if it's not documented, it didn't happen. And again, fair market rent, you want to be consistent across the board, have a schedule, stick to it, and document your entire process.